Alright, hey, HadesOmega here, and welcome to my end of the 2024 UPS peak season vlog, alright, for the seasonal support driver, or PVD, whatever they call them, okay? Alright, so, yeah, man, this year was not as good as last year, so this is the end of season vlog video. If you want to watch the beginning of this season, peak season video, I will put a link to that at the end of the video, alright? But, so this is the end of it, alright? So pretty much, I'm not going to talk about the hiring process and all that stuff because I talked about it in the last video. What I'm going to talk about is of how the work was, okay? So I'm going to start after when I first started working, okay? So, they put me on a route with this dude named Edgar, all right, and he's doing a route like near my home, all right, not far. It's a few miles from where I live, so which is good, all right, because usually they have me work in Almaden Valley, and that's like on the other side of San Jose. It takes me a while to get there, all right, but the trade-off is a lot of people have like a lot of packages to deliver in that area, okay, and it's a nice area, okay. Sometimes it's nice to deliver packages in nice areas. What can I say, all right? But this area, not so nice. But the nice thing about not so nice areas is that everything is more condensed, like I mentioned in the last video. Okay, so it's actually easier to deliver the packages. Like you stop one place and then boom, 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 boom. You literally do like 4 or 5 stops from one stop. All right. That's how you can rack up the stops. Okay, guys. Yeah, so I started just after Black Friday, like the week after Black Friday. The year before, I think I started like 2 weeks before Black Friday or a week before Black Friday. Okay, so you want to start working around Black Friday. Okay, that's when it's gonna get busy. All right, but you want to get in there as soon as you can. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I think two weeks or a week before Black Friday, I already looked for the job opening and I couldn't get it. Okay, so this year I started a little bit late. You know what? I started about the same time I started other seasons. Okay, this is my 5th peak season working for UPS, guys. Okay, just in case you guys are wondering, I'm one of them seasonal workers. All right, and like I said, the first year I was a driver for the brown trucks. And then I just seasonal driver the whole seasonal support driver the rest of the time. Okay, so I've done it 4 times as a So with this one, I've done it 4 times as a PVD or SSD. Okay, that's when you use your own vehicle to deliver the packages. Okay, and then only 1 time I did it with the package truck because they didn't have a SSD roll in that time. Okay, so I started work a week. Like late in the week after Black Friday. All right, you want to try to start working after or before Black Friday. Okay, that around that time frame, right, or as soon as possible. Okay, if you see a job opening, go for it, man. The worst you could do is just tell them, hey, I can't work, or I can start work on this date. Okay, all right. So anyway, so I was working with Edgar. And he's a cool guy, and we were a pretty good team, all right? It was him. I don't even know who his helper was. It was him and his helper, and I would meet him at the library, and then we would deliver packages, okay? I think the most packages I ever got from him, I think the most packages I ever got from him was probably like 70 stops, all right? So yeah, I think around that Black Friday rush, I got around 70 stops in that area, okay? 50 or 70, one of those, and I managed to pull off about. My goal was to get like 5 hours a day done, okay, and for the most part I was able to accomplish that, okay, and so for the remainder of peak season, I worked mostly with Edgar in that route near where I live, and then I worked with 3 other drivers, so I worked with four drivers total. Okay, I didn't really help a lot of drivers. Like after my route was done, I didn't really go out and hey, you need help, that type of thing. All right, but anyway, okay. So I think I was helping Edgar for that week, and I got a little bit more. I'll tell you this: on Mondays and Saturdays, they might have you do different stuff. All right, so that's what I wound up doing. All right, on the Monday, one of those Mondays, I helped out. I helped out Oscar. Okay, this driver named Oscar. I don't remember if I worked with him before, but he was he had a helper that worked in the building. All right, so she's a loader that worked in the UPS building where the trucks come out. Okay, I helped him out, and I had like 70 stops. All right, it was on a Monday, and it was kind of weird. Like he gave me a time card. All right, I talked about time cards in the last video. Basically, it has all your work info for the day on it. All right, and it has all your time info. All right, so they can put it on the computer. All right, I don't think, and so the scoop is I met Oscar at the UPS store, and I think it was kind of late or something, but we don't actually meet. Yeah. So we meet at this UPS store. This route is in Willow Glen. All right, guys. It's like a nice area in San Jose. All right, and yeah. So I met Oscar, and it wasn't near the UPS store. It was somewhere. It was across from a Vietnamese restaurant or something. Okay, that's where all the drivers meet. And I have met at that UPS store before, but I think I met a driver he was like doing pickups, and then he gave me a bunch of stuff out of his truck or something. But that was a different year, okay, guys? Every year is different, guys. All right. So anyway, I was helping Oscar. I've done this route before, by the way, guys. Okay, this Willow Glen route. So I took a route from somebody. The time card was already filled out with somebody else's name and info on it, so I just scratched it out and put my name on it. All right, he gave me the phone, and I logged in and everything, and yeah, and then we're all good. we're clocked in, all right, guys. And he had like 70 packages for me to deliver. And so the thing about Oscar is he doesn't like to work a lot, all right? He likes to get off as soon as possible. So he's willing to offload his work onto me, all right? He told me if I wanted more work, I just call him, and he'll give me more, all right? And sure enough, he did, all right? So I think it was, yeah, around like 5 hours. I finished around 5 hours with the whole route. I think I met him, I went him once, and they're like, hey, you're hella fast. You're hella better than our other SSD, because the other SSD, he takes like 5 hours to do one shelf, okay? So one shelf is like 7,000s, 8,000s, 5, okay, like one of the 1,000 shelves, all right, guys. One section of the route, and they say it takes him like 4 hours to do one shelf. I was like, are you shitting me? Like how could it take that long? This job is not that hard, guys. All right. They said I think they want you to do like 15 stops an hour. All right. That's like the average. All right. If you're really booking it, yeah. If you're really booking it, you can probably do like 20, maybe even like 30 stops in an hour. All right. It mainly depends on the route, though, guys. Okay. It depends on what you're delivering. All right. But yeah, they said their driver takes like 4 hours a shelf. All right. And sure enough, like I take one of the shelves and I look at it. I'm like, probably take me like 2 hours. All right. And I'm not out there busting my ass. Okay. I'm out there working at an average pace, all right, a moderate pace, all right. You don't want to work, like I mentioned before, you don't want to work too fast, but you don't want to work too slow, okay? You want to stretch out the work, all right? It's tough. It's tough for me to not work, all right? Like HadesOmega's is one of those people. Like, yeah, man, I work, okay. When it's time to work, it's time to work. That's my the work ethic I had in the Army, okay. Anyways, so yeah, I bang out this route in like 2 hours. All right, I bang out the shelf in 2 hours. So I come out and grab the other shelf, and I bang that out in 2 hours. So I'm roughly, with the brakes and everything, I'm roughly like 5 hours. Okay, guys, that's about right. All right, and it's a nice route. I'm delivering to nice houses and everything, and the route is not very difficult. All right, I like it. All right, it kind of takes a long time to do it. Oh shit, that's good. All right, and there's plenty of parking and all that stuff, And so I text Oscar and say, hey, you got any more work for me? I'm done. And I'm like, yeah, I got more work for you. And so we meet in a different parking lot, and he gives me like I think close to 40 more stops or something. So I was like, he just starts giving me stuff, and I was like, okay, and then I kind of look at it, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can fit all this, and I tell him, okay, stop, I don't know if I can fit all this. So that's kind of what you're limited to, guys. You're limited to how much packages you can take. All right. So that's why I always say, take the biggest vehicle you can. Don't take some small, like a Toyota Corolla or something. You know, take the biggest vehicle you can get. Like a minivan is like the ideal vehicle to drive. Okay, and yeah. So I took like 40 stops from him. I think. Yeah, I took like 40. So I already had 70, and I took 40. So I think at the end of the day, I wound up with like 110 stops, close to 120. Okay. And I had to take a lunch, and yeah, I was doing deliveries in Willow Glen. All right, so pretty cool. All right, so I think that was the day that I made the most money. Yeah, so I think that was the most I ever made the whole time. All right, that Monday. All right, because I just happened to help out Oscar, and he wanted to give me more work. Okay. And he was cool with that. All right, some drivers, like you know what, I need the work too. So they'll be shiesty with the package with the packages. All right, and maybe they shouldn't be giving you stuff. I don't know, man. But he was cool with giving me stuff. Like, he wanted to go home. Yeah, what he told me later is that what I found out later is that Oscar is like, he's put in more than 20 years of work at UPS, so he's like ready to retire. So he doesn't really care how much work he gets anymore. He tries to get home as soon as possible. All right, that's what Edgar told me too. I was talking to him like, yeah, man, Oscar doesn't like to work. he likes to just bang out whatever and then go home. And I, you know what, I'm like that too. All right. I'm like that. If I was a driver all the time, that's what I would be like. I'd be just finish my work right away and go home. Okay. That's some information about Oscar. All right, guys. He was a cool guy. He was real nice though, and I liked working with his helper too. His helper was cool. She was telling me some crazy stories about, like, yeah, I worked like 15 hours in one day. Like, I would go load packages, and then I would go out with Oscar, and then that she would be like, I need to get some sleep, I'm dying. That type of thing. So they were glad to get my help. All right, guys, you'll run into drivers like that. All right, they're overworked, and they don't care. Like, you can have all my stuff, so I don't care. That type of thing. Okay. So yeah, I think that was the day I made. It says I made $320. I just barely dipped into overtime. All right, I think I got less than an hour overtime. It was very difficult for me to get overtime this peak season. Okay, guys. But like I said, I'm fine with that. If I can get 5 hours of work a day, that would be great. Okay, and for the most part, I could get it for the rest of the time. All right. So, and then after that, I went and worked with Edgar again the rest of the week. All right. Yeah, so the rest of the week I wound up working with Edgar again, that same route near my house, which, like I said, which I don't care. It's nice. I don't have to drive a lot, right? I think on the Edgar's route, I'm probably putting in less than 10 miles, all right? Less than 10 miles, guys. That's awesome, all right? I don't have to spend a lot of money on gas or electricity, to deliver the packages, And then I just give him the phone and the time card at the end of the day, and I just go home. I don't even go to the center, all right? I worked out of the center one day, okay, guys, and then whenever I wound up not working with Edgar, I went back to the warehouse and I gave them the phone. Okay, so if you're like far away from home and the center is on the way home, it's better for you to go to the center and drop off the phone and stuff. Okay. That's my tip there, okay, guys? Because you get paid to drive back, and you get paid the miles to drive back, all right? And I guess they don't want you to do that because it costs them more money, right? But yeah. But like, if you're close to home, it's more beneficial for you to give your phone to the driver, all right, and then just go home after that, all right? Because because like you're already close to home, just go home, right? Instead of having to go to the warehouse, and then it eats up more of your time in the day, and you're really not going to make that much more money to go to the warehouse, all right? Yeah. Okay, so there's that. I work with Edgar the rest of the week. All right, pretty simple. Sometimes they move the route around a little bit. You do the bits and pieces from like a different streets and stuff, which is fine. I never got any pickups. Okay, there have been years where I've gotten pickups and call tags and stuff. So a call tag is like a tag they'll give you, and then it'll be on your dyad, all right, and it'll say, hey, you got to go here and pick this up, and there might be a time frame on it. I'm not sure. Some of them do, and then some of them they just leave the package out there and you grab it, all right. Then you would either take it back to the warehouse yourself, all right, or give it to the driver, all right. And yeah, so if you had any packages at the end of the day, you would just take it to the guard shack and you would leave it with them, all right. And then they would what they wind up doing is they give it to one of the drivers that are going into the warehouse, and they put it on his truck, and then they put it on the belt inside, right. So like pretty much the whole peak season, I never had to go back in the building. Okay, guys, I only went in the building once. Okay, and I'll talk about that in a bit. All right, yeah. It wasn't like crazy like COVID, man. I'm telling you. That's what I'll say. All right. Yeah. So I only went into the building once, but I did go to the center. All right. I went to the center to drop off my phone whenever I did those routes when I didn't have Edgar. Okay. So, okay, and then so I wound up helping a driver called Harold. Okay. I worked with Harold before. Okay. He recognized me. I was like, yeah, I recognize your vehicle. You had I have like dividers inside of the thing to sort all the packages and everything, and he didn't remember me, but he remembered my car. So he said, yeah, I think I worked with you. And yeah, I was like, yeah, I think I worked with him too. And sure enough, like when I put his when I started texting him, all right, remember it's very important to get your driver's contact info so you can coordinate with them throughout the day. But anyway, yeah, I got his info and I got his text message. I text messaged him. I said, "Oh, I have texts from him from last year." That's funny, right? Like he'll meet me at this address, that type of thing. Okay. So anyway, so I worked with Harold for like a week almost. For some reason, I worked with Edgar for a whole week, and then I started working with Edgar. I'm not sure. I think they fired the driver that was on his route, or they must have moved him or something. I don't know. Whatever, man. But Harold's route was right next to Oscar's route. So it was in that Willow Glen area, just to kind of like on the other side of the street or something. So I worked with him, and I don't know what it is, man. When Harold's truck pulled out all the time, there would be, he called it a salad bowl, all right? There would be shit packages all over the floor, everywhere, man. You couldn't find shit in that truck at all, okay? It was very hard to find everything in there. I would always be missing packages with him. All right, that's one thing I didn't like with Harold, is that everything was like not organized in his truck, man. I don't know. I don't know if he's like just taking a shelf and just throwing it all over in the car, like mixing everything up. So it takes him longer to deliver packages. I don't know, man. It's very frustrating for me when I can't find packages. Okay, guys. So that's a scoop there, man. I have to be organized, all right. And it frustrates me a lot when I'm looking for that one package in the car, and then I'm digging around. Is it here? Is it there? Did you check there? The good thing about being an SSD is that there's only so many places to put packages in your car. So once you've looked at everything, then yeah, it's like, well, I don't got it, all right. It's probably still on the truck, all right. And so that happened a lot with Harold, all right? It wouldn't be not uncommon for me to be missing like 4 or 5 packages, okay? And that's very frustrating. Like sometimes houses have like more than one package, and then you have one package, and then you don't have the other. And then it got so bad to the point where like I was, it got kind of bad where I didn't know what was in the car anymore. So what I would do is I would look for the next package, all right? I would look in the manifest, all right? And I would look at, it tells you, okay, you're going to deliver this next. And I would actually look in the car for the package before I went to the next stop, because I knew like maybe you won't have it. So if I didn't have it, I would just skip that address. Okay, it got so bad that I started doing that. Okay, guys. And it's frustrating because you know you have to go. And Harold told me like, yeah, man, like it doesn't really matter. Like it takes more time to do it that way. You make more money. I'm like, yeah, but like yeah, it's kind of like it just I don't know, man. That's just not the way I do things. All right, I don't like going back to one place more than once. It's not efficient. All right, that's what. And Harold was saying like, yeah, you know, I don't even worry about like not having having the package. If I don't have it, chances are like if I don't have the package, somebody else has it, and they'll deliver it for you. All right. So I'm like, well, you know, if you think about it, he's absolutely right. Okay. So don't worry about it. All right. Just what you don't have it. All right. He actually told me not to put that you don't have it because I guess it like messes up the system or something. When he delivers it or something, or it takes it off his board and he has to like scan it again or some shit. I don't know, man. Yeah, it was kind of weird working with Harold. All right, he had a helper too. It was kind of funny. Like every time I know, and it would be funny. Like every time I would meet with him, his truck would be a mess. There would be shit everywhere, man. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like literally, like I would go in there, I would clean out his truck. I would get like 50 packages or something, and it looks decent in there. You could like walk in there and look for stuff, and then when I come back, it's a shitstorm again. I'm like, what happened, man? It was clean the last time I looked at it. Yeah, man, I don't know. And like he didn't want to give me like big packages to deliver. I don't know why. Like he didn't want to give me all my stuff. So it was kind of weird working with Harold, man. There was some of the stops would have like really big packages, and like he said like, hey, you know what? I'll deliver them for you. I'm like, okay. And he said it's better for you to just call the center and ask for more work. All right. And so that's what I would do. All right. If I didn't have everything and he didn't want to meet with me, I know that's kind of weird. Like he didn't want to give me all my packages and stuff. He didn't want to give me more stuff from his route, or like I think there was one time he wanted to give me some stuff from his route. He's like, yeah, I'll give you some smaller stuff, and I said, no, I'll take the big stuff. I'll do my stuff, man. I'll do what's assigned to me. Okay, how about that? It was kind of crazy, man. Okay, yeah. So that was working with Harold. I think I worked with Harold for about a week. I liked the route he was giving me, but like I didn't really like working with Harold, man. But so the thing is, if I work with Harold, Oscar is in the area, and I have Oscar's contact info, and I would bump into Oscar, all right, and he would tell me like hey, you want more work? Let me know. I got lots of stuff. So the thing about Oscar's route is he gets a lot of work. Okay, his route is busy. All right, so he told me he had 180 stops or 200 stops one day. I think like 200 stops is a lot for a driver, guys. All right, 100 stops is a lot for an SSD. So that's like double the work. You know, he's doing double the work that I'm doing. Okay, so that's a scoop there, guys. So his route is heavy, like a lot. All right, so he would be glad to offload some more work to me. All right, even if he had another SSD, they said they didn't like the other SSD. They wanted me to come back and help them all the time. All right, but I was only assigned to Oscar once. All right, that's but since I had Oscar's contact info, I said, hey, I'm done with my route. Do you have any work for me? And he's like, yeah, I got work for you. We'd meet again, and then he would unload a whole bunch of packages on me, and he'd be like, yeah, man, thanks a lot. He'd be all smiles, man. He'd be happy. Him and his helper would be like, yeah, oh, thanks for helping us out. We just want to go home today. that's great. All right, you know, I feel wanted. All right, I feel like the work I'm doing is making a difference for the drivers. Okay, so that's what I like, you know. And I liked working with Oscar. He was a cool guy. And I would try to take as much packages from him as I could that could fit, you know. And a lot of them, you know, sometimes I couldn't fit them all right. So yeah, it's like I would start scanning packages. So when you trying to get more work from another driver, and if you're done with your assigned work, there's nothing on your dyad, all right, your MDA. So you need to scan you need to build a manifest, all right. You need to scan all the packages. So I scanned all, I would scan the packages and I'd look at them. I would throw them on the ground or put them in the car somewhere, just before I sort them, and then I'm looking at them like, I don't know if I can take anymore. So I was like, I think we need to stop. so yeah, and then, but sure enough, I would get like 30, 40 stops from him every time I'd come to him. So that's good. And that's how I got. That's how I was able to get more money. Okay, guys, that's how I was able to do more work. Okay, the deal is. On those days, I would probably take a lunch. All right, yeah. I would probably take a lunch, and then after I would ask at the end of the day. All right, when you're done, you would either ask the you would text the center. All right, I would text the center, and then you just wait. All right, sometimes they answer right away. Sometimes you have to wait like 20 minutes or something, then they answer. All right, so I'm just there twiddling my thumbs, getting paid to do, just to wait for their response. All right, so yeah, just be patient. All right, read a book or something. After the route, they would say, okay, no. Most of the time, yeah, they would say like, no work. There's no more work. Go back to the center. Or give your phone back to the driver, or return it to the center. All right, and chances are, if it's late in the day. If it's late in the day, the driver's probably gone back to the center already, and then so yeah, you just go back. So whenever I wasn't working with Edgar, like I mentioned, I would go back to the center, all right? So like I said, I tried my best to get 5 hours a day, all right? And I was barely able to accomplish that, okay, guys? Why do I say 5 hours? Because if you do 6 hours, then you have to take a lunch, and then it takes a long time, all right? It takes a long time, and then if you're going out to eat somewhere, you spend money, and yeah, and then you get home later and everything. Yeah, I didn't really like taking a lunch. The ideal time to be out, in my opinion, is 5 hours. That was working with Harold. Okay, guys, I'm gonna talk about like since we're doing these long routes, right? Longer routes than when I'm working with Edgar. I never got to take a lunch when I was on Edgar's route. I would always bang that out like before 6 hours. So that's okay. I don't mind. Okay, and he would give me extra work too, and he would give me like apartment routes and stuff. It's important that your driver knows like what you can do. Okay, because they're telling me, like, I hear all these stories about SSDs, man. They don't want to work. Don't give me this. Don't give me that. I don't want to do apartments. That stuff. I'm like, I'll do anything, man. Give me what you got, man. Like, if you got an apartment, like, hey, I can do apartments. I have a hand truck and I have a organizer. I get totes to put packages in, and so Edgar would trust me, like, right? And then so I would do the apartment routes and go in there and do the nice thing about the apartment routes yes, it's a lot of walking. Okay, guys, it's a lot of walking, going up and down the elevator and all that stuff, with carrying packages all through a building and stuff. That's why you need to have a tote, guys. All right. The problem is like getting into some of these buildings. Some of these buildings have like Fort Knox security. Okay, and I'm talking about these big luxury, apartments and condos and stuff. So yeah. So I did get to do that a couple times. All right, and I don't like doing those. All right, guys. But hey, they take up more time, and if there's parking. Yeah, so another thing is the parking, all right, guys? If you're in a big brown truck and you park in like a red zone or something and you put your hazards on, then yeah, people, like the police, know that you're delivering packages, right? But if you're like a regular vehicle and you park in the red zone and you have to leave your flashers on, chances are you might get a parking ticket, all right? So thus far, working for UPS, I have not got a parking ticket yet. Okay, guys, but I had imagined there's like probably more than a handful of situations where, yeah, man, I might get a parking ticket, delivering these packages, because it takes time to do these apartments and then go back down. It might take like half an hour, to deliver the packages, and then get back to your vehicle, right? So yeah, that's the kind of thing that's sketch, like where the parking situation isn't very good. Okay. I remember I had one where I was downtown San Jose, and they have paid parking in downtown San Jose, and so it's a good thing I carry coins around. All right, guys. So here's another tip: carry coins around. All right. If you need to deliver a package in the building, and so that's what I had to do. I had to deliver a package in an apartment. All right. And I had to go in. The security guard has to get you in, and then you go in there and deliver the packages. All right. They see that, oh, he used UPS, right? And he's got a bunch of packages with him. And there was paid parking on this one on the street there, and I was like, oh shit. Well, so I just put like a quarter in, and then I went and delivered. All right. That's one of my tips. All right. Bring coins with you. All right, guys. Just, if you got change lying around, keep it in your car, and then use it to feed the meter. All right, guys. And then just feed it for how much you guesstimate it'll take for long. I don't mind spending a little bit of money to make more money, okay, guys? If it's just a little bit, all right? That's a tip I have for doing DoorDash, okay? So that's from when I do DoorDash. If I have to go to an apartment or something, and I bring coins with me so I can pay the meter, all right? Yeah, I guess the parking meters are pretty nice now. They can take cards too, so yeah, you can do that also, I guess. But yeah, so I only have to do that once, anyways, guys. So I don't mind using some change to do that. Okay. So the long work days, all right. So these long work days, they kill me, guys. Okay. I've been doing this for 5 years. All right, the peak season thing, and every year it gets harder for me. Okay. I have bad ankles, all right, and my back has been hurting a lot lately. I don't know what it is, man. This year, ever since I started working delivering packages, all right, and that's when it starts to get cold too. So I think it's a combination of the weather, and I'm working those package delivery muscles. Okay, so that's what I call them, package delivery muscles. Okay, guys. So I've been delivering packages for a long time, guys. Probably more than 10 years. Okay, I've delivered mail. I delivered packages for Golden State Overnight for many years. And I work for UPS, okay, and like whenever I start a new package delivery job, I'm hurting, okay. I feel really tired at the end of the day, and I'm hurting real bad. And then after about a few weeks, your body starts to acclimate. It starts to get used to it. All right, you get the package delivery muscles. All right, and then so. This year, I did not get those package delivery muscles back, guys. I was freaking hurting every time I had to go. So yeah, like I said, the magic number is 5 hours. After about 5 hours, my body starts to hurt a whole lot, all right? And my ankles hurt, my knee hurts, my back hurts. I can't do this job anymore, okay, guys? I can't do it for long periods of time. If it's like under 5 hours, it's okay. Like, I'm a little tired at the end of the day. But if I gotta work more than 6 hours, take the lunch and everything, and work even more, I'm hurting real bad, guys. Okay, and like, yeah, I bring ibuprofen with me, so when I'm hurting and my joints get swollen and shit, I take ibuprofen. All right, I'm getting old. All right, that's the problem, guys. I'm getting old and I'm broken. All right, guys. And every year it gets harder and harder for me. I don't know. Every year I worry, can I still do this? Because last year I worked a lot last year, and I made a shit ton of money last year. But I also hurt a lot last year, okay? Like I said, if I have to take a lunch, I'm hurting real bad, okay? My heel. All right, my heel started hurting. All right, so I wear these combat boots, all right, the ones I wore in the Army, all right? And I use that to do deliveries, and I have like orthotic inserts in them, so they help my feet. But I after driving with them for like 6, 7, 8 hours a day, or 5 hours a day, my heel hurts. Okay, the one that steps on the accelerator pedal. Now it may be different for for other people's because on the RAV4 it hurts. Okay, I did not like driving with that. It would get so painful that I would switch to my Crocs, okay? So I bring a different pair of shoes with me when I deliver packages, okay, guys? So when my feet hurt wearing the boots, All right. I honestly, I would prefer to deliver in the boots because your feet have more support, and if you drop something on your foot, it's not going to hurt your foot as much, and they're not as slippery. Okay, boots. The boots I have pretty good grip. The Crocs I have, when it rains, it's slippery. Okay, and it must have rained a good amount, like maybe like 2 weeks, but I didn't get rained on a whole lot. All right, I remember there were some years I got rained on really bad. I'm delivering packages in the rain. The boxes are getting all wet and stinky. It's the smell of wet boxes, man, is awful, man. I hate it. All right, and this year, for the most part, I didn't have to. I didn't have to deal with the wet boxes situation. All right, it would be wet, but like not that wet. All right, guys. I think maybe once or twice. Oh yeah, I have it with me right now. I had to wear a rain jacket. Okay, so this is the rain jacket I had. All right, so if you got a rain jacket, it's good. If it rains a lot, it's good to have a rain jacket, guys. All right, guys, or else you'd be like soaking wet and miserable. All right. And so when it rains really hard, I put the rain jacket on, and then I just put it over the vest and stuff, and I start delivering packages. And then when it goes away, I'll take it off and I'll put it back in the car. Okay, so, and I think maybe I had to wear it for like an hour or two, and then that was it. Right? So I didn't get rained on that bad this year, but it did rain quite a bit. It just never rained when I was delivering packages, so that's good. I'm not complaining. I hate delivering packages in the rain, guys. It's awful. That's how my body fared this year. Not good. Okay, how am I gonna do in 2025 peak season? I don't know, guys. It gets harder every year, right? So this year, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't get that much work, man. I was hungry for work all the time. All right, I would always ask for more work, and they would never have it. Okay, so it would be the same story every day. At the end of my route, I would text them, "Hey, I'm done with my route. You got any more work?" And they would say, "No. Go give your phone back to the driver. Give your phone and time card to the driver, and you're done for the day." I'm like, okay. So yeah. So at the end of the day, one of two things happens, guys. Okay, like if like let's say I'm done helping Oscar. Like I've worked with Harold and I helped Oscar out, and I want to see if there's more work. I text the center and I say, "Hey, you guys got any more work?" And then like I said, I wait like they could respond right away, or you can wait like 20 minutes. All right. And if I wait too long, I just go back. All right. But you'll either, so one of two things happen. All right. Throughout the day, you might get a text message saying, "Hey, there's no more work. Finish what you got, and then you're done for the day. Give your stuff back to the driver." Or you would text them and they'll tell you, "Oh, there's no more work. Just give your stuff back to the driver." Okay, so those are the two things that happen at the end of the day. Okay, guys, and then you would either go back to the guard shack or give the phone back to the driver, like I mentioned. Okay, so there was one time I was working with Harold, and they gave my stuff away. All right, they gave my stuff to another driver. I'm like, what the hell? They said Harold told me, "Hey, they're sending another SSD, and they took your stuff." I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, you let them take my stuff? That's my work, man. And so I'm just like, what the hell? So I got done with the stuff because I guess the driver took it all, so I have nothing to deliver now. And so I text the center like, "Hey, they gave my stuff away. Is there any more work?" Because it was really early. Like I only got like 2 hours of work, and they're like, "Yeah, we do. Go back to the warehouse, and we'll get you more work." All right, and then and so that's what I do. I go back to the center, and this is the only time this ever happened. All right, in the past I've done this many times. All right, but this is the only time this year that I did it. I go into the center, I drive into the building, and they got this truck there full of packages. I guess the truck broke down, or the driver's sick, or something. I don't know. And I talked to one of the managers or supervisors there, and they're like, "Yeah, here you go. Just and then I was just like, so just scan the packages and just deliver them." And like, "Yep." I was like, "Okay, here we go." So so that was the only time I did that. All right, the only time. All right, and then so I was looking in the truck and like, dude, there's a shit ton of packages in there. All right. So I took 2 shelves, guys. I took no, okay. I took an entire shelf worth of packages, and some other packages from other shelves. I loaded my car up with tons of packages. Like every nook and cranny I could shove a package in, I loaded it up. Okay, guys. So once I took a whole shelf, I started taking little stuff from other routes. All right, so I could get more work. All right, that's how you do it, guys. That's how you make a lot of work. And I think that day I got a lot of work. All right, I was able to get like close to 100 stops. Yeah, it wouldn't be uncommon to get close to 100 stops a day. All right, with these other routes. The routes I was doing with Edgar, 50, 70 stops. All right, the routes with Harold and Oscar, I would get 100 stops, 120. All right, I think 120 is like the most I did. Close to that. That's a lot for a SSD, guys. Okay, like I said, the drivers are doing like 200. So, okay. And just because it's a lot of stops doesn't mean you're doing a lot of work. It just means like you're stopping and you're like boom 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 boom, all right. Or you're delivering it there and then you go back and you deliver it again because you couldn't find it, that kind of stuff. All right. That's how the stops add up. Okay. But generally, the amount of stops you usually have like double the packages. All right. So if I do 100 stops, that means I delivered like 200 packages. Okay. Some stops have a lot of packages, man. I shit you not. Like some of them I had to use my hand truck. There was so many deliveries, like right before Christmas. All right, that's when you're gonna get a lot of packages in the nice neighborhoods. Okay. All right, so there was that. Oh yeah. So I did that route and I didn't like it. Okay, guys, that route was hard, man. It was in Communications Hill in San Jose. I've done deliveries at Com Hill, but this was a different part of Com Hill that I did not like. Okay, it was the stops were at the bottom of Com Hill, and it would be like these houses where, yeah, it would be like a, it's kind of like a duplex sort of. It's like a quadruplex, or so what I call it. But there's only one entrance that goes into the residence, so you would leave the package at this one entrance, and I had to ask him like, hey, so is that how they deliver? I'm new to this route. Is that how? I asked them, like I rang the doorbell and then the guy got the package, and then I think I had him sign for it. If you give it to somebody, I just have him sign for it. Or so this is what I've been doing. If I give the package to somebody, it's kind of a hassle to go in there and say I gave it to somebody, you know, and I delivered it and stop in, you know, that type of thing. So what I do is I hand the package to the person and I take a picture of them with the package. So how I know, yeah, this dude took the package, all right. Yeah, that's how I've been doing it. It just saves time. It saves time and hassle, all right, guys. But yeah, I did this route and it was an apartment complex, and like it's one of those ones that like, yeah, it's like a big apartment complex and they got different building numbers, and then you're there walking all over the place looking for shit. Oh yeah, man. I don't like those routes, guys. It's a lot of walking and you're going up and down stairs. Oh, it's awful, man. I hate it, man. Okay. It was that kind of route, man. And then some of them, like some of the deliveries were hard to find. There was this building, yeah, there was this place with their building, and I couldn't find like where the, like you'd have to know where all the addresses are. I'll walk around the building once, I couldn't find the address, and I'm looking for like a apartment number or something, you know, and I can't find it, you know. But yeah, you have to go down this stairs and walk around here, you know, that type of thing, guys. It's if you were to drive on that route, you probably would learn, you know, you would know where all those places were, but I didn't know. Okay, and it took me a long time to do that route, and it was frustrating and it was hard work for me. Okay, and that's the only time I did that route though, so I was like, whew, okay. Yeah, I worked with Edgar one more day, and then I think I wound up, I worked with Harold one more day, and then I worked with Edgar one more day, and then they had me, I forgot her name already, man. Yeah, they put me up with this female driver, and I delivered in the I delivered in that area. You know where I delivered? I forgot the zip code for it, guys. I've done a lot of deliveries in that area, guys. It's near like Auto Mall Parkway, or it's near Capital Auto Mall in San Jose. It's a it's a nice residential area. Okay, so I helped her out on Christmas Eve. All right, that was the last day I worked. Okay, I was hoping to work with Edgar again, but they had me work with her. I never worked with her before. She gave me my stuff. I delivered it. It was really easy, and I came back and I got the stuff. And I tried to see if she needed more help, and she said she was done. She said she was done. I think on the last day, let me go look at my time card. So the last day I worked was Christmas Eve, and I only got like 3 hours. It says here I got 3.33 hours of work. All right, so that was it, and then I just went home. And then so, what did I say, guys? Last year, and I was guesstimating this year that after Christmas there would be no more work. All right, and that's true. Okay, so that's same for this year. Okay, we didn't get any more work after Christmas. I got a text message from the center. I'll read it for you guys. Okay, on the UPS texting system. So this year was kind of weird. Last year was kind of weird. Christmas Eve was like on a Sunday or something, so we didn't work on Christmas Eve. I've worked on Christmas Eve before, and they usually pay you time and a half or overtime for working like on a holiday, right? Christmas Eve, but they didn't pay overtime for Christmas Eve this year. So yeah, but the funny thing is, on Saturdays they pay overtime. All right, so if you work on Saturdays, I got overtime. Last year they didn't do that. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they didn't. I'm like, I don't really care, man. $40 an hour is fine, but $57 an hour is even better, right? Or 50. Yeah, it was like close to $60 an hour, guys, for overtime. If you can get it, yeah. I try to get as much as I can. I must have gotten I maybe got like 5 hours of overtime this peak season. All right. Yeah. So here's what happened. Christmas was at the middle of the week. Okay, guys. And so Thursday, December 26th, I get a text from the center. All right. The 25th is a holiday. It's Christmas, right? We're not working. It says here, team, hope everyone had a great holiday. Just giving you an update that I do not see the volume in our system that we will need help the rest of the week. Please plan accordingly. Thank you for your hard work this peak. All right. And then I replied, thanks for the update. All right. And with a thumbs up. All right. So I'm like, well, at least thank you for letting me know that we're not going to have work for the rest of the week. All right. So that was the last text I got from the center. All right, guys. And you know, I'm actually still working for UPS right now, by the way. I haven't got laid off yet, all right? In previous years, I know I was laid off by looking at my time card. It would say laid off, okay? We can look at, yeah, let's take a look at my time card, all right? And then I'll go over how much I made this year, okay? Yeah, so Christmas Eve was the last day I worked, all right? It's January 9th that I'm making this vlog, okay, guys? So I haven't worked since then. I still got my vest and all that. All my UPS stuff is still in the car. I haven't taken it out. However, I'm really tempted to take it out because I haven't worked for over 2 weeks now, okay? So it sucks, man. And yeah, it sucks because that money was good, man. I was bringing in at least roughly $200 a day at least. The minimum I would bring in was $200. And then I can make up to $300 a day. That's a lot of money, man. Doing Uber, I'd be lucky to make $100 a day, man. Okay, but I'd be working a lot less, and I wouldn't be busting my ass as hard. Okay, that's a scoop. Oh, also after I delivered packages, I also did Uber and DoorDash. So I tried to make as much money as I can. All right, guys. So here's how much I made this year. All right. Peak season 20. Actually, I got a paycheck in 2025. So I got the paycheck. I got my last paycheck after the new year. All right. So I actually got some money. I actually worked for UPS in 2025. That's what I think so. I'm not sure. I think that might go in the W-2 for 2025. I'm not sure. But yeah, we never got any work after that. I never text the center. So but yeah, so that's how it would work every day. Around 8 o'clock, I would wake up and I would look for a text message, and if I got one, it would tell me like, hey, you're working this route. Do you can you work? And you would put yes or no, and you put yes, and then it would give you a tip of the day, and you would go meet the driver and work. Okay, that's how it worked this year, and I like it. Okay, I like that. You know, I don't have to call for work every day. All right, in the past, it's been awful trying to get work. You would call and call and call. Sometimes it would be busy. You couldn't get through. I would call and text, you know, because we've had this text message system for a long time. Some years they didn't use a text message system. This year, they only use the text message system. Okay, guys, which I like. Okay, I like that better. I feel it's more efficient. All right, having to call somebody up is not efficient for me. Okay. You gotta call them, and then they gotta call you back, and it's just a lot of back and forth that wastes a lot of time. Texting is way faster, guys. Okay. However, if you text, like, you can overlook a text too. Okay. So that's how it worked this season. You know. And yeah, it was nice that I was able to find a driver that was willing to give me more work. So there you go, guys. There's a tip. Make a friends with the driver, and maybe they'll give you more of their work. Okay. some drivers they're like Harold, man. They're kind of shisty with the work, man. They don't want to give you extra work. Like a lot of the drivers, they'll be glad to give you more work. They want to give you more hours. You know, they want to spend more time with their family. They got other things to do than work. You know, so we're there. It's greatly appreciated. Okay. So, but I did send Edgar a text like on Christmas or something. Hey, man. Oh no. Yeah, I sent Edgar a text message on Christmas Eve, the last day I worked, and I tell him, hey, they had me working with this other driver in this area, and sorry I couldn't see you again, and I don't think we're gonna have any more work after Christmas. It was great working with you, buddy. He's like, oh yeah, it was a pleasure working with you too, and you know it was good. It's nice to make friends with the drivers, man. Okay, some of the drivers are pretty cool, man. That's what I say, all right. And some of the drivers have been doing this for a long, long time, man. I can't imagine doing it for like 20, 30 years, man. That's a long time to be delivering packages. All I can say is, hey, take care of your body, man. It's a very physical work, all right. It's easy work, guys, but it's hard work, all right. Yeah, like I don't know how to. Does that sound right? It's easy. It's easy for me, all right. It's easy, but it's hard at the same time. It's hard on your body, all right. I can only imagine doing it in the summertime when it's hot and there's no air conditioning. Oh my God, it would be awful. Okay, I've only done it during the peak season, and it's cold during the peak season. I love delivering packages when it's cold, guys. All right. Overcast. Overcast weather is the best weather to deliver packages. Okay. I don't like delivering packages when it's sunny, you know, and hot or raining. Okay. Overcast is the best. All right. It's not raining and it's not hot, and the sun's not beating down on you. All right. That's good. All right. That's good for that. That's my favorite. That's my favorite delivery weather. Okay. Okay. And so yeah, that's it. I made just shy of 4,000. All right. I don't think I quite made 4,000. I don't remember if that was before or after taxes. Okay. But yeah, I made almost 4,000 pretty much. Okay. And like I mentioned, I average about 5 hours a day. That's fine. I'm fine with that amount of work because after 5 hours, I'm hurting pretty bad. So, I would love to get overtime and all that stuff, but it's hard. It's hard to get overtime, and it's just not. It was just busy, you know. This year wasn't busy. Last year wasn't busy either, but I got more work last year. They put me in an area where I got more work, and this year wasn't so much. But it was pretty chill, you know. I would just go do the route, and then I would try to get more work, and they would say just that's it, all right. And then I would go home, and then I would do Uber later. Okay, that type of stuff. All right, that's what I did this year. Okay, and you know what, I liked it, and one thing I didn't like about those nicer routes, the Willow Glen routes, is it's hard to find a place to use the bathroom, man. I would go to the UPS store and use their bathroom. All right, so so there's a tip. If you go to a UPS store, most likely, if you're a seasonal driver, they'll let you use their bathroom. Okay, I think they understand. Like, hey man, they're out there and it's hard to find a bathroom, you know, or a restroom or whatever, you know. So I had to do that more than a handful of times. All right. Some days I would have to go pee like a lot, you know. I don't know what it was. Maybe when it gets really cold, I have to pee a lot, man. But yeah, it's the worst thing, man. It's the worst thing trying to deliver packages and you got to go to the bathroom, man, because you're just like, oh shit, man. Like I got to go to the bathroom. There's nowhere to go around here. We're gonna have to break off from the route and go somewhere. All right, they're like, they were telling, yeah. So that's another thing. If that's another tip. Ask the driver. All right, if you haven't done this route before, right? If you haven't done this route before, ask the driver if you haven't done this route before. Hey, where can I use the bathroom around here? All right, it's always good to know. All right, sometimes there's a porta potty somewhere. You can go to a school, or my favorite is the parks. Okay. Usually, where there's a park, they usually have a bathroom. Okay, it's probably not the cleanest bathroom, all right, but hey, whatever, man. Usually, I just gotta go pee anyways. All right, I'm not one of those drivers that pees in bottles, guys. All right, I don't do that stuff. All right, you know, if worst comes to worst, yeah, I'll like find the parking lot and I'll like pee on a tree or something. Okay, but yeah, I don't do that peeing in the bottle stuff. It's gross, man. I've heard stories of it from the drivers and the loaders and stuff. They'll find like pee bottles in the trucks and that's gross, man. No thanks, man. Yeah, okay. So that was my 2025 peak season vlog. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. I haven't got the confirmation that we've been laid off yet. They always say there's a possibility after Christmas you may get more work, all right. But the only time that ever happened is like the first time I ever did it, all right. And that was during COVID, and that's when it was crazy. We were making hella money doing the SSD job. Now we're not making as much money. There's just not enough work. I hate to say it. There's just not enough volume, is what they call it. Okay. There's just too much competition for UPS. What can I say? You got Amazon out there, FedEx out there delivering packages, you know, and they you know, when people ship stuff, they choose the cheapest option. Okay, it's very competitive. The post office, yeah, we were competing with the post office. Oh yeah. Also, I did get in trouble one time. All right, guys, I kind of got in trouble. I do these. The drivers love to give misloads to the SSDs. All right, if you guys don't know what a misload is, it's when there's a package that doesn't belong on that truck. It's supposed to go to another route, and they give you it, and you just deliver it. Or and usually it's not in that area. You wind up going somewhere else, and it takes a lot of time to deliver it, and you make a lot of money to do one package delivery. Okay, it's great. All right. Anyway, I got this misload. It was supposed to go. It was a UPS. It was a USPS SurePost package. All right, guys. So it's one of those packages that UPS. It's one of those deliveries that where UPS delivers it to the post office, and then the post office delivers it to the person. Okay, like we're working together. All right. I've delivered SurePost to a lot of the post office. Okay. Anyway. The post office was in Gilroy. Okay, it was. If you guys don't know where Gilroy is, it's like 30 miles from San Jose. All right, it's not near San Jose at all. Okay, you've got Morgan Hill, and then you've got San Martin, and then you've got Gilroy. Okay, guys, it's kind of far. All right, so So Edgar gives it to me. It's like, hey, you want to do this? I'm like, you got to go to Gilroy, though. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. That'll take a long time. So I did it. I delivered it to the post office. I was going to deliver to the address, but they're like, no, you got to deliver to the post office. So I'm like, okay. So I delivered it to the post office. The lady there signed for it at the. So when you deliver to the post office, you go to the back. You go to the dock. You ring the doorbell, and then someone. Well, the lady was already back there getting packages and stuff. and I delivered it to her, and then she said, like, she looked at it and like, yeah, okay, this is for us. And then so I delivered it. She signed for it and everything, and then I go back to San Jose, and I give him the phone back. I give Edgar back the phone, and that was it. So I got a lot. I got a lot of miles for that, but I couldn't believe it. It didn't take that long. It maybe added like an hour of work to my thing. That was it. But I got a lot of miles, and the supervisor probably saw that, like, why does he get like 40 miles, 50 miles on his thing? He normally gets like 5 or like 9 miles, something like that. And then so I got a text message the next day from the center saying, don't deliver anything to Morgan Hill or Gilroy anymore. I'm like, okay. So from now on, after that, Edgar would call the center and he would ask him, hey, do you want the SSD to deliver this package? And then they would approve it, and then I'd go deliver it. Okay, so that's how that happens. Doing misloads is a good thing, guys, because well, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Yeah, you have to drive more, but it takes longer. All right, so and you just take your sweet time. All right, take a break, just drive. Take the slowest route or whatever. Whatever, man. That's my tip with the misloads, all right, guys? And yes, take them. Take the misloads, man. The drivers love to give misloads to the SSDs, man. Okay? All right, let's go take a look at my time card real quick, and that'll be the end of the video, all right? Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys my time card, okay? So I worked right after Black Friday. Yeah, okay, so Black Friday was what? Pretty much the 30th of November. So I started, this is when I started working, no, this is when I started applying, all right? I think the weekend before this, I did the application and all that stuff, and then so they had me work on Wednesday, okay? Wednesday was my first day. It was super easy, guys. They gave me like 30 stops, okay? So ridiculously small amount of stops, all right? Too easy. I got 4 hours that day, all right? So and then the rest of the week, I think I worked with Edgar, and I got close to 5 hours a day. Like, here's 4, there's 3.5. Yeah, not a lot, guys. The first week, all right? The first week I took in $700, okay? But I only worked like half the week, okay? The second week, all right? Oh, so the second week was that day I worked with Oscar I was talking about, all right? I got 8 hours exactly. I got no overtime, unfortunately. All right. Yeah, I got 8 hours exactly. I took in $300 that day. 320. Nice. All right, and then the rest of the week I work with Edgar. Okay, so you can see the pattern here. Edgar's around. Doesn't give me a lot of work, man. So I got like almost 4, 5, 5, 5, 5. Yeah, so I got 5 the whole week. All right, like I mentioned, I tried my best to get 5 hours. Okay, and then the next week there's an adjustment here. I don't know about that. I don't know why this is here. It's not a holiday, right? No? Yeah, but anyway. So here's some other stuff. I guess they didn't have me work on this Monday or Tuesday for whatever reason. All right, some days are not busy, okay, guys? And so they don't have you work, all right? And that's when I have to send a message saying, hey, do I got work? And like, sorry, it's not busy. No work. And I think that's what happened this week, okay? 2 days I didn't have work. And then, yeah, 2 days I didn't have work, and I worked half the week. But I got like $1,300 that week. What? How did I get that? How did I make that much money? That's a good question. Oh, okay. This, I got like overtime. Yeah, I got overtime that week. So I got half an hour of overtime. All right, so I took in $350. Yeah, I took in like almost $300 every day. I tried to make up for not working the first 2 days. So I managed to get in $1,300. Wow. All right, I don't know if that's before taxes or after taxes, guys. And then so this is the last week we worked, guys. Okay. Yeah, I actually got 6 days of work. This week I got 6 days of work. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a tough week when you're working 6 days a week, man, delivering packages. But so they also pay you
I think they pay you overtime on Saturday. At least I think they did. One way to find out: 315 divided by 315.46 divided by 517. $61 an hour. There you go. So on Saturday, they paid me overtime. So I worked only 5 hours, but I got $300. All right. So you want to work on Saturdays, guys. All right. Saturday is they pay you time and a half, all right, or overtime, whatever. So you see here. Here's something interesting. I worked 8 hours this day and I took in $320. Now I worked 5 hours this day and I almost took in $320. I worked 3 hours less. However, I almost got the same amount as that day I worked 8 hours. All right, so that's because I worked Saturday. If they ask you want to work Saturday, say you can work Saturday. All right, if you want to make money. All right, guys. Okay, so I think this is the week I made the most money. I almost made $1,500 that week. All right. And then this is the last week that we worked. Okay, so I worked the Monday, the 23rd. I got 5 hours. I worked with Edgar, and then this is the last day that I worked. I did that one route. It was only like 3 hours of work, and then that was it. Okay, and then that was Christmas, legal holiday, and then they schedule off. All right, and then so after that, I got that message from them saying, "Hey, there's no more work the rest of the week." The next week, nothing. All right, this is New Year's Eve. This is New Year's. No work, no work, no work, and then we have this week. Okay, same story. Oh, you know, I got something even better for you guys. Sorry. So when I pulled up my time card at the end of the day, all right, it says schedule off for the whole week. All right, so I'm still working for UPS, guys. I'm still on their pay thing, but I'm not working. I'm still working for UPS, but I'm not working. All right, if you could understand that, all right, guys. So like, yeah, every day I wait for a text message asking if you want to work, and I don't get it. So. And I never got a text message after Christmas. So there we go, guys. So that's where we are. All right, guys. I'm gonna show you my paycheck here. All right. So the most I made in 2024 working. Oh, you know what? This might be from last year too. We might have some stuff from last year. I'm not sure. Okay. Anyway, I got 3,523. All right. That was the year-to-date total. All right, this is in 2025 because I got this check in 2025, all right? I got $327. That was my last paycheck, okay, guys? So that's total $3,850, all right? So that's how much I made during peak. All right, and with that ends my end of 2025 UPS peak season SSD driver vlog, okay, guys? So that was my experience this year. Not so good, all right? I'm not gonna lie, I made like $8,000 last year, okay? I worked earlier. I worked a route that had a lot of work on it. They gave me I got a lot of work every day. As you saw, I was struggling to get work this year, okay? So it's just dependent on how busy it is, okay, guys? Or luck, okay? It depends on where they schedule you to work, okay, guys? If you get this area that they don't get a lot of packages, then you're just not going to get a lot of work, and you're not going to get a lot of money. Okay, but every day they would either say, "Hey, that's the end of it. There's no more work. You go home," or you text them and you ask them if there's more work, and they tell you no work, go home. So yeah, it was just like that. It just wasn't busy this year. Okay, guys. So. Hopefully in 2025, if I do this again, it'll be more busy, okay? I feel like last year wasn't very busy, but I made $8,000, all right? I worked a lot more. Next year, I will be looking at the SSD job openings. Like, I'm going to apply, like, right away, okay, guys? Like, once I see it. I think, like, in October, I'll check, like, every day. So, I started checking for job openings like in the middle of November almost. Yeah, somewhere around there. Somewhere around the middle because I had stuff to do, all right? But this year I'm going to start in October. All right, I'm going to start looking in October when the job openings happen, and if I see one open up for SSDs, I'm going to apply right away. Okay? So I bumped into another driver. I bumped into a driver that I worked with. Oh, I think I saw him last year and I talked to him, and I guess he's a pretty good driver, and he said they hired him like a while back, like a couple weeks back, or something. So so it was possible to get the doing the job like before that. Okay, so yeah, so that's the scoop, guys. All right, so yeah, I didn't make a lot of money this year because there wasn't a lot of work, and I didn't work that long. All right, because last year I got an extra 2 weeks at work. Okay, and you saw the most I made one week was $1,500. Okay, I think last year I was making like almost $2,000 a week. Okay, so yeah, it helps. It pays to be put on a route where you get a lot of work. Okay, guys. I would rather taken that route that I did last year. You know, it's more work, it's more miles, but it's also more money. Okay, so I wouldn't mind that. All right, but hey, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with doing five hours a day. So that's perfectly fine. Okay, so that ends that's the end of my vlog. All right, I almost made half as much as I did last year. I'm not really happy with that. I was hoping to make double that. Okay, so hopefully better luck in 2025. HadesOmega. All right, I'll see you guys next year for the start of peak season 2025 vlogs. All right, thanks for watching. HadesOmega out.